And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day, a kind of a drizzly day out today. I'll tell you about the weather in just a moment. Today on our show from United, we have the board president, Juanita Skillman, and Pat English is here as well. They're going to be, well, one of the main subjects they're going to be talking about is the handyman program, and they're going to go into a little bit of details on that. Laura Renaud is here today from ActiCare of South Orange County, and she's got a special coming up for Mother's Day. We're also going to talk about stroke risk, so pay attention to that. She's not only the owner of the ActiCare South Orange County, she's also an RN, so we'll get into a little bit of the health risks when it comes to strokes. Then Congresswoman Mimi Walters will be here today. She's the representative for this district, the 45th district, and we have several different things that we're going to touch on. And then we're going to bring you a segment from Sterling Financial today. Now, there are no meetings to speak of, so let's get right to the weather, and a little bit of change in that this low system that's coming in here has a little bit more moisture to it. So I think yesterday I said we'd probably start to see drizzle tonight. Well, it's actually starting if you're watching us in the morning today, and then we'll continue overnight. Now again, this is not going to be a whole lot of stuff, but we could actually get some light morning showers tomorrow morning, maybe overnight into tomorrow morning. So this is going to be more than what I said yesterday, but overall, you know, we're not talking about much of anything. I think I told you yesterday this system was producing a little bit of snow in the Sierras on Thursday. Going on to Mother's Day, partly cloudy. You know, it's not going to be quite as sunny and bright as we would like. So going forward, you can see the next 3 days are going to be similar in temperature. More overcast today and on Saturday, then less so on Sunday. As we move to Monday, things will start to clear up a little bit more. And then going into Tuesday, we'll have pretty much sunshine. Now looking way ahead once again, this system that we're getting today and tomorrow could produce a little bit of, as I said, drizzle to light showers, maybe some rain more inland. But then next week too, there's a similar system that could be happening towards the end of next week. So we're getting a lot of late showers this year, aren't we? We're getting the real spring rain, and that's actually kind of nice. So we're getting up there to almost normal conditions. I think the Sierra has gotten normal conditions as far as their snowpack this year. And speaking of the Sierras, they're looking at possible thunderstorms today and maybe into tomorrow. And as you look around the state this weekend, you can see, look at, it's kind of strange. We're overcast down here, and yet up in Eureka, they're going to be sunny. How often do you see that? Same thing with the Bay Area, looking really nice. They'll get some clouds up there, but primarily sunny skies in the Bay Area, about 73. And up there, you know, there's so many different microclimates up in the San Francisco Bay Area. The temp that I normally give you is for the peninsula. That's where I grew up. But there's so many differences. If you go inland to the East Bay, it can be 73 in and around San Mateo. And then you go to the East Bay, it can be 90 degrees. So a real difference up there, just depending where you go. Now, Palm Springs down to 90 degrees as an average for the weekend. Arrowhead down to 57. You know, the last few days, Arrowhead was, I think yesterday and the day before, they were in the upper 70s. So about a 20-degree swing for them, both on their high and their low. And Palm Springs, the same thing. They were about a 15-degree swing for them. San Diego, about 71. So overall, the next several days for Southern California are going to be pretty much anywhere mostly to partly cloudy and some drizzle to maybe even some light rain, depending where you go. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
If you truly want to make a difference, there's no better way than a career in California water, a dynamic, essential industry at a critical turning point.
Water is absolutely the most crucial thing hitting our Central Valley and our state.
It's work that's so essential that people want to stick with it if they're in it.
It will be life-changing, not only for yourself, but for generations to come.
Through times of drought, aging infrastructure, and a growing population, the water leaders of tomorrow will seek innovative solutions to unprecedented challenges, helping protect California's most vital resource.
We have to broaden our network so that we can bring all the bright minds together to solve a problem that has to be solved.
It's a valuable resource. We need to protect it, and we always need people to do that.
The water business isn't just about delivering water, moving it from point A to point B. A new wave of opportunities are emerging, from working in the field to a water quality lab, shaping policy in a boardroom to customer service and human resources, tackling complex regulations, or leveraging technology for critical improvements in water efficiency and sustainability.
It's not just building pipes and pump stations anymore.
We need engineers, we need those in the hard sciences, we need those in the soft sciences, people that understand law, understand public policy.
You need the accountants, you need the rate setters.
We need all types and all hands on deck.
There's nothing more central to California's future than carrying on the water industry's mission.
It's a tremendous responsibility we have in delivering that water resource that you can't live without.
If you really want to make an impact, then this is where you're going to have the most impact.
In California water, you'll find a vast array of long-term, well-paying careers with numerous opportunities to grow and make your mark, and new initiatives welcoming the next generation.
It makes me feel like I can make a real big difference.
If you think that this industry is a non-changing industry, that's exactly the reason why you have to get involved. That's why you have to come in to affect that change.
It's only going to become more important as years go on, too.
Why not be that person to take the water industry to the next level?
We're going to have to be more innovative, we're going to have to collaborate more, and we'll need a new generation to help us do that.
The impact that your service will bring to public service and to water in general will last for generations to come.
And with me right now from United is the board president, Juanita Skillman, and also Pat English is here, one of the board members. We're going to talk about a few different things, and we're also going to talk about the handyman service, right?
Right, that was the crown jewel from our meeting this week. We finally got it passed. We've been working on it for about 6 months, I guess, and we've got all the, we hope, kinks worked out. We're ready to go, and Pat's going to go into that a little bit.
Okay.
I just want to talk about some of the things that had their first reading. And as I've mentioned on TV before, first reading is when it comes and it is presented for the first time, but we don't take a vote on it.
Right.
And then it goes out for 30-day comment. And that's not just our residents, but also our directors. If they have questions about it or need further information, that's the time they can get it, so that hopefully at the next meeting, when we actually bring it forward to vote, the questions will be answered and people will know what they're doing.
Okay.
So we had 3 things that were brought out for next meeting, and that is mostly with appliances. As I've talked about before when I've been on, we're updating our appliance standard policies and procedures, and we had some new ones 3 new ones to put in this time, which go on our 30-day, and one is on the appliance. We've had a problem before with people who have had their appliances replaced by United standard appliances, but they've put in alteration countertops, for instance.
Sure.
And our people would not put the appliances in, say, a dishwasher, because they might break the countertop and do some damage. And so we've got a new thing where they can sign a waiver and we can actually get that and do it for them, so they don't have to call somebody from the outside. We also have one on satellite dishes. Satellite dishes are popular, but getting less popular. And of course, we don't want to talk about satellite dishes. They should be watching VTV. But if they do, there are certain rules and regulations of where they can be, how big they can be, where they can't be, how, that type of thing. So we brought that up to date. And then also one on patio brick walls. Almost all of our patios have brick walls that come standard with the year, and some people have changed them, and some people want them raised or lowered or whatever. So this will go through that and let everybody know how we can do that. The other thing that we brought forward, we had talked about last month, but there were questions from some of our directors, and so we brought it forward again this month with some of the explanations for them, and that's our vacant manor policy. We do have a concern in the village with vacant manors, because as United, we're the landlords, we own the manors, and we need to make sure that they're okay and there aren't any leaks in them and they're not attracting vermin and all of those kinds of things, because it's only fair to the neighbors.
Right.
And this is not against our sunbirds or our snowbirds who are here just part of the year, or people who use this as a vacation home or whatever. This is just ones that for some reason or other they don't sell, and they're vacant, there's nobody there, and it's a problem.
And you were did I hear this right? Somebody for like 20 some odd years?
26 years is the one we have the most.
And yet it's been paid as far as the assessment.
The assessments are paid all the time.
That's incredible.
And I think
to me.
I mentioned last time, some of this is they want to keep it in the family. And so the member dies, and they just keep paying the assessments and thinking, I'm going to take it over someday. The average length for these vacant manors is 3 years. And that's too long. That's not a good idea for all of the neighbors that are there. And then last but not least, we adopted a new membership certificate and envelope. We have mentioned over and over and over again, your membership stock certificate is a legal document that you need to have, and if you have to replace it, it can cost you thousands of dollars.
Wow.
It's a percentage of whatever the resale price is, and you can't resell your manor until you have that. So we want people to put it away in a safety deposit box, a safe place, something like that, so it's readily available. But because it said membership certificate, a lot of, for instance, heirs who don't know our village would come in and not realize this is the stock certificate.
Yeah, I can understand
and
that.
So we clarified the language on that, and we're going to put it in a nice little envelope with very clear language on the outside, and hopefully we won't have as many people losing it. And then coming over from last month, because we didn't have 30 days again, and our bill in the state Senate went through this week to the Senate floor, and we hope will be passed. And that will change the 30 days to 28 days, so that we won't have this mess anymore. But we are bringing forward the resale deposit policy that we introduced before, and the soffit and ceiling policy for the alterations, and another alteration on just the general requirements, and one on air conditioning. So the other thing that will be going forward is golf cart prices.
Okay,
so
all right.
Get all of those done. If you have any information, if you've got questions, if you've got comments about any of those things, please let us know. You can just contact one of a board member individually, or send a letter to the United Board here at the Community Center, and Catherine will copy it and give it to every one of us, and we know then what your views or questions, and somebody will get back to you.
All right, very good. Now let's move on, Pat, to handyman services. And I know this has been worked on for quite a while with United, and Third is having their own version of it as well.
Not this year.
Oh, they're not this year. Okay, that I didn't know.
Nope, it's just us this year. And so for all of you people in Third, and I've had half a dozen calling me and saying, can't we get in on it too? Not this year.
All right, I didn't know that. I'm glad you brought that up. So first, kind of give an overview, and then I know this was talked about a bit at the meeting. what this is, what really the catalyst is this for? Because, you know, and as obviously you know, in United, different than Third, even though they don't have this right now, is that there are things that you automatically come in and take care
Absolutely.
of. Yeah.
The co-op does.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm really excited about this, and that's why I'm on this morning, and I'm happy to be on, and I hope I can share my enthusiasm with all of you. The Handyman Service Program is designed to help the residents, and excuse me that I am reading it. I didn't have much time to prepare it, and my memory's not that great these days. So anyway, it's designed to help the residents with a wide range of repairs and other help not covered by monthly assessments or chargeable services. Our VMSI staff researched the program provided by Rossmore in Walnut Creek. Initially, their program had dedicated handyman staff to respond to requests. By the end of the first year, 800 manas were enrolled, and the number steadily increased, resulting in the allocation of 2.5 handyman staff to the program. The handyman program will offer services listed in the description of services for a 12-month period at a cost of $200 per subscriber. The handyman services is renewable annually, and residents who sign up for the service will receive up to 3 monthly visits by the VMSA staff, not to exceed 2 hours per visit. A description of services, the service agreement, and frequently asked questions will be posted on the Laguna Woods Village website.
It is already.
In addition, the Handyman Program brochure will be displayed at the clubhouses and the desk of the community center. I also believe that we're going to be having the actual applications will be handed out in the reception area of the community center, which will be very helpful for everybody.
And you give them back to resident services when you've got them filled out.
One of the main features of this program is that it doesn't matter if the service required is the result of an original fixture or the result of an alteration. That's one of the main things about it. This is extremely important because up to now, an alteration problem was not addressed. This feature alone could save the resident a lot of money. For example, if you have some alteration electrical fixtures that need service, now under the Handyman Service Program, they will be covered. The program goes with the unit. In other words, if your unit is sold, the remaining months of the service will stay with the unit. If you sold your unit and your handyman service was for 3 months into the program, the remaining 9 months would stay with the unit. That's a real good selling point for you guys. I encourage all United members to sign up for this great program. I'll be the first in line. Thank you very much.
Sure. I have a couple questions.
Sure. Okay.
And I want to make sure I clarify because I've heard different things on this. When it comes to plumbing and electrical, I was under the impression that there's certain things that they cannot do.
Well, there's certain things that our co-op does anyway,
okay,
as part of the cooperative with electrical and plumbing.
Okay.
But there are little things like loose plug-in areas,
okay,
or with the plumbing maybe tightening something or whatever, and that's things that the handyman can do, putting in a new faucet. Those kinds of things. Now, any deep plumbing or electrical, that certainly is going to go through our regular cooperative services.
Okay, now let's say the alteration is somebody got a ceiling fan. Mm-hmm. Would they be able to hang that ceiling fan? Because in a sense it does involve an electrical connection.
Well, it does, but the electrical is up there.
Okay.
And I'm going to say probably they'll be able to put there. And a lot of it is simpler things like changing light bulbs.
Right.
I don't feel steady getting up on a step ladder and doing things like
right,
that. Anything that's heavy, putting up curtain rods, turning mattresses. There's lots of things around the house that we, as single women now, don't have a honeydew to go do those for us, and this handyman service is going to be taking it. So we're very fortunate, resident services being trained on this, As of May 15th of this year, you can go to Resident Services and pick up the service agreement, which everybody, it's all there, and then you have to sign and turn in with your check for $200. And they're being trained, so when you call into Resident Services, they will know whether it's a regular co-op maintenance issue or if it's something for the handyman.
And it's a very simple form that they have to fill out. There's nothing complicated about it whatsoever.
Okay.
And another thing I'd like to say too, a lot of people would like to change out their bulbs, so they've got LED bulbs instead of the old twirly ones and the ones before those. So this is a really good way you could save money. I believe you would have to buy the bulbs yourself, though.
Yeah.
You'd have to buy the bulbs, and then the handyman would come out and replace them for you.
Very
the
good.
nice thing is the fact that you get 3 2-hour visits. So if you have a handyman come out and say it's an alteration or whatever, and these are the things that you need, then you can go buy them at Home Depot, and he can come out a second time.
Yeah, that's nice.
And do them for us. So it doesn't have to all be done the first time, and you don't have to know everything that you need the first time. They'll be able to guide you and help you in doing this. Now, this service will start on June 4th, which is the first Monday in June.
Okay.
So sign-ups start May 15th, and the actual service starts on June 4th. So.
Okay.
And if you want to do it today, you can go in and get your name on the list, and they'll call you when they're ready for and send you the paperwork.
Okay, a couple things I want to clarify. That if someone comes out and they are able to accomplish something in 10 minutes, that counts as a visit. It's not like someone can go, well, I still have the remainder time.
And they do not roll over. So if
they
you
do not roll over.
If you don't use your 3 visits this month, that doesn't mean you get 6 next month.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify.
No,
all right.
no.
Very good. Anything else you ladies would like to add?
No, we're just very, very thrilled that it finally went through. We're proud and glad to be the pilot program, if you will, and hope that Third will maybe follow suit the next year, because we are really excited that it's going to do a lot of good things for our residents.
Yeah, very good. And I just want to add that for people changing out their bulbs, which is really great, LED bulbs are now down to like pennies compared to what they used to be.
They are.
So my house is almost totally LED now, so there's no reason not to use them.
That's right.
They're great. A lot more light.
Better light and longer lasting.
And longer
So,
lasting.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Got our commercial.
Good to see you, Pat. Good to see you again here.
Thank you, Ken.
Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again soon.
Oh,
Okay?
absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Dental health is important, and it can be tough to find the best fit for your needs. Flora Stenger General and Specialty Dental Practice covers most of my dental needs in one location. Their on-staff specialists provide seamless services and communication between me, my doctors, and my insurance company. Located right down the road from Laguna Woods, our bus service stops right in front of their building. For the first time, I'm getting the dental care I need with the treatment I deserve. And my dental health has never been better. Call and book your first appointment today. I'm glad I did.
It takes a team effort to provide compassionate care. At Health Plus Medical Supply and El Toro Pharmacy, your personal attention is our top priority. We have everything you need, including stair lifts, rollators, knee walkers, wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, scooters, and car lifts. And we provide all maintenance and installation. Health Plus is located inside El Toro Pharmacy, where we provide the same compassion for your pharmacy and drugstore needs. Located in Moulton Plaza.
Hello, Laguna Woods. My name is Rick Bradford, and I am the pastor of Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods. I would like to invite you to join your friends and neighbors right here in Clubhouse 5 every Sunday as we worship, as we enjoy a free breakfast, and as we learn from our pastor, Rick Warren, the author of the best-selling book, The Purpose-Driven Life. Please be assured that you will be warmly welcomed at either our 9 or 11 a.m. service. I look forward to meeting you personally.
Are you or someone you know having difficulty with day-to-day activities? I'm Lori with Acticare. You want to stay in your home but worry about falling or losing your independence. We at Acticare can help. A personalized plan is designed with as much or as little care as you need. Please call for a free care consultation to make your life easier and more enjoyable.
Acticare, responsive in-home care. Your first day is free. Please call us for details.
And welcome back. With me right now is Laura Renaud. She is the owner of Acticare South Orange County, and she's also a registered nurse. Good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about, we're going to get into, in just a moment, stroke risk.
Okay.
But first, Mother's Day is coming up, and you folks are having a special going on where people can get a discount.
Yes, I wanted to honor all the moms out there for their unconditional love. So we are going to offer $50 off services, and that's with no obligation. So anybody can just give me a call, schedule a time this month, and we can come out and just give you at least 2 hours of our time.
Now, I have a question, and I know you've talked about this before, and it is on there. It can be hourly. It can be live-in. You offer all kinds of things, transportation.
Right. So very flexible design to meet the client's needs. Whatever they need the most, we'll put that care plan in place for them.
Tell me about the transportation, because I think that's a really good service.
Right. So they just give me a call, and we'll schedule a time. We can take them to a doctor's appointment. We can help run errands, go visit friends, pick up friends and go out to dinner, whatever.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a great service.
And then you're just not held to the schedule of the bus here in the village.
As far as somebody scheduling, and what is the first step? Obviously giving you a call or going to the website.
Right.
But then someone comes out and visits them, find out exactly what their needs are and how they tailor it to them.
Right. So that's my position. I will be the person to go out and do the one-on-one consultation, and there's no charge for that. That's just complimentary. And then as a registered nurse, I'm able to put together an official plan of care for them. And then if they decide to move forward, our clients can meet caregivers ahead of time too, and choose who they think would be the best fit for them.
And then figure out, maybe they just wanted, I'm looking at some of the stuff you do here, maybe they just want housekeeping once a week or whatever it might be.
We can do that.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice. Now, we're going to get into you sent us over a couple charts here, stroke risk scorecard, and it's with the National Stroke Association. As I mentioned, that Lori is a registered nurse, as you just said.
I'm a stroke certified registered nurse, and May is Stroke Awareness Month, National Stroke Awareness Month. And I thought just to share a little bit of information may be helpful. So 80% of strokes are preventable. So if we can teach people some risk factors to having, to increase the chance of having a stroke, then people can know how to prevent them. Number one being blood pressure. We want to make sure blood pressure is in control. If you do have an irregular heartbeat, you're on medication for that. Smoking is one of the highest risks of having a stroke, so we want to make sure you stop smoking. Manage your cholesterol, diabetes. Also, increase physical activity, and that can be just simple walking. It doesn't have to be strenuous. And then manage weight as well. But as you can see on the scorecard, you look at those risk factors and then score yourself. If you need assistance with that, I'm happy to come and help. And
I want to say that what Lori has in front of her here are these cards that I guess you bring out, and they can have one. And
sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. We have it on the screen here, of
but
course.
Yes, they have official cards.
That's a nice.
And then on the back of the card, it talks about once you've assessed yourself on the front, turn it over, and then you rate your scorecard, basically, and then it gives some recommendations on what to do and how to lower that risk of having a stroke.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously very important. And some of it can be very simple to do.
Stop smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take your blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the healthy eating and exercise will be real helpful. Okay, but even more important than that, I want everyone to know the acronym FAST.
Yes.
And it's on this card as well. These are the warning signs if you're having. So you say you are with a friend or a family member and they just don't look right. This is what you want to remember in your head. Okay, FAST. So that's The F is for face, so ask someone to smile. If one side of the face is drooping, that could be a stroke. Next are arms. Could you please, raise your arms? If one drifts down, that could be a sign a stroke is happening. And then speech, you ask someone a simple question or to repeat a phrase. If they're slurring, if they just sound different, it could be a problem. And then T is for time. And if any of these symptoms are shown, do you want to call 911? Do not get in the car and drive to the hospital. Call 911 because time is so important.
All right,
So
very good. Yeah, this is really good information. And, again, there's so many different things that can be done that are easy. But the first step, of course, if you haven't seen your primary care for a while, and all these things that you talked about, blood pressure and cholesterol and all that, this is all stuff that's a primary care physician. You don't need to go to a specialist.
Oh, not at all.
They can figure all that out. You might draw blood, whatever they do, but you don't need to go to a specialist to see where you stand and all these things. Obviously, smoking, you already know that if you're doing that.
Right, no, just talk to a healthcare professional and they can help you lower your risks for having a stroke.
All right, good to see you again.
You too. Right.
And I want to mention that if you want to get a hold of Lori, the number is 949-397-6069, and the website is South Orange County Acticare, or .acticare.com. I have .acticare on there. Is it .acticare?
SouthOrangeCounty.acticare.com.
Okay, and if you forget that, I always tell people, just Google Acticare.
South Orange County.
Yeah, South Orange County, and you're gonna. That's how I found it. That's the easiest way.
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there. But some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
I started Sterling Financial under the premise that there was a need for integrity in this industry as well as quality service.
There's such volatility in the stock market. One day it could be up 100 points, the next day it could be down 500 points. Well, what we like to do is be able to have people go to bed and wake up the next morning knowing that their money is safe and secure.
That's what we try to do here at Sterling Financial Advisors, is to create peace of mind and quality of life in retirement.
Different is powerful, yet calming. Different is a friendly smile. Different is accepting, not judging.
Different is the unexplained, left to the imagination.
A day without plans, to walk, to explore. A coastal drive with no destination. Different is anything but predictable. Different can be good. At South County Lexus, you'll find different is amazing.
And right now I'd like to welcome Congresswoman Mimi Walters. And Mimi is, of course, the representative for this district, the 45th District. Great to have you on. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me back. I always enjoy coming to talk with you.
It's wonderful. And you, of course, have a history with this community and the state of California. Now, were you an assembly person or senator?
I was in both. I served for 10 years in the California State Legislature. I was in the Assembly and the Senate.
Okay. I couldn't remember which, probably because you were both. But it's great to have you here today. And we're going to get into a few topics right away because I know you're kind of pressed for time. And something that really concerns this community for obvious reasons is veterans, how they're taken care of. And you know, we've heard in the news really over the last several years that the care for them and the resources that they have in VA reform.
Yeah. So I was really privileged to have the opportunity to meet the Southland Honor Flight veterans who came to Washington, D.C. last month. And I met them at the World War II Memorial. And there were veterans that were from World War II as well as the Korean War. And some of them were even from Laguna Woods.
Oh,
and
nice.
I got the opportunity to talk with them and listen to their stories and their concerns. And one of their biggest concerns was that they don't want to be forgotten. I mean, these were men who have sacrificed their lives for us, for our freedom, and we need to honor that. And one way we need to be sure that we honor the men and women who are fighting for our freedom is to make sure that they have the care that they need when they return from their military duties. And the VA, as we know, for several years was not providing the care that we need to make sure that they have. And I am proud to say that we've been reforming the VA. We've been making sure that our veterans have the access to the care that they need. And if they can't get it at their local VA, that we have community centers where they can go to make sure that they get the care in a timely fashion. This is one of the high priorities of Congress, is to make sure that we continue to take care of our veterans and make sure that we honor their service. And we have to make sure we don't let them down.
Yeah, because unfortunately one of the biggest growing elements in the homeless is, of course, their veterans. And in many cases there's a lot of different reasons, of course, what they went through and all. And they may not know how to go get the resources and or don't have the ability.
Right. And so we have to make sure that we're there for them and that they get the access to the care. It's our duty, and I am very confident that we are going to continue to see big improvements with the VA.
And one of those improvements came last year with the VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act, right?
That's true. We now have protections in place for those people who work for the VA that are exposing the bad actors, and we're able to now get rid of people who are not serving in the VA, serving our military men and women the way that they should be. So there's an opportunity now for us to clean house, if you will, with those people that aren't serving the veterans to the best of their ability.
All right, now let's move on to tax reform. And of course, I know there's people this year, I came across some folks and they did their 2017 tax. They go, where's the reform? No. It's starting for the tax year 2018.
Right.
But I think a lot of people thought, what's going on here? So tell us kind of a brief overview about the tax reform and how it may or may not help seniors.
Well, first of all, when I've been in the community, it's been wonderful to talk with people who have said to me, oh my gosh, I'm getting more money back in my paycheck. I didn't realize that. Thank you so much. So people are starting to see the effects of tax reform right now. And some of them have even said, I went to do my taxes with my accountant. My accountant had told me if tax reform was in place right now from last year, if it had been retroactive, I would have gotten more money back. So those are some of the positive things that I think people are feeling. And also, we're seeing a lot of people's 401ks are increasing as well because of tax reform. I think you also have seen that the economy is doing much better than it had been doing. We were very surprised that many businesses were going to be giving bonuses to their employees and increasing their benefits. Disney is one, you know, a local company here who gave a lot of bonuses to their employees. So that was another positive effect. We have people who have kids now are going to be able to have larger deduction for for their children. So that is going to help younger families as well. But I think the security, especially for the seniors who have retirement accounts, who are making sure that they have to have that money on a monthly basis from the retirement accounts, we're seeing that increase, and that's going to be very beneficial to the seniors.
Yeah, and one of the things that is also helping that should not go unnoticed is small business. And even around in this community, there are a lot of small businesses here, and you know, small businesses struggle, let's face it. So to have reform coming in, and that can help them as well.
Yeah, we are seeing more small businesses expanding now and creating more jobs than ever before. That's been one of the big benefits to tax reform. And you even have not only small businesses, but large companies like Apple, who is putting $340 billion back into America and creating 20,000 more jobs. That is all because of tax reform. So we are seeing the economy moving, more people are going to be put back to work. We have the lowest levels of unemployment in decades. Jobless claims are down to almost a 50-year low right now. So these are all the benefits we're seeing because of tax reform.
Yeah, you did bring up a good point, because I remember Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, said this would not have happened had this not gone through, of the money they're going to bring back from overseas.
Right.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a mom of 4, and I've got 2 kids that have already graduated from college and are in the workforce. I've got 2 that are getting ready to graduate next weekend, and they're looking for jobs. And this is going to be an environment for young people, a much better environment for young people to get a job than several years ago. And that's really important, to make sure that these young people have jobs.
Yeah. Now, here's a subject that is really in the news right now. This is, of course, the addiction to opioids. And I have mentioned more than once that this is really a bipartisan issue. And I even said it was the one thing that a year and a half ago, during the elections and primaries, that President Trump and Bernie Sanders both agreed on.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
The one thing maybe they agreed on. But this is becoming an epidemic for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, it is, and it's something that I think the public is really starting to become aware of. Listen, there's a place for medication. We all need to have medication to help us heal, but we have to be careful to not abuse it. And I think one of the issues we need to educate the public about is, first of all, you know, moms and dads, grandma and grandparents, that medication that's in your medicine cabinet, we need to be careful to make sure that the young people don't get their hands on it. Because one of the abuses we've been seeing is from the young people thinking, it's okay, I can take medication from my mom and dad because a doctor prescribed it, and they don't understand that that can be very harmful. So we've seen young people die because of opioid abuse as well. So it's a matter of education. It's a matter of making sure that Congress provides the resources to make sure that we have mechanisms in place and laws in place to make sure that not too many pills get into the system into the wrong hands. And I sit on Energy and Commerce Committee, and we actually had we've been having hearings on the opioid crisis. We just passed some legislation to help give the resources that's needed to make sure that we curb this crisis. And it is something that Congress is focused on. And as you mentioned, the president is very focused on this issue, because we need to make sure the public is aware so that people take care when they're taking their medication.
And you know, one thing I wanted to mention on that is, of course, in fact, even the federal government is becoming a little bit more on board on the use of cannabis as a safer alternative that's still being looked at. A lot of states have adopted to it. But I've even seen where the president has kind of backed off. Backed off meaning, okay, I see I can see the benefit of this backing off that way.
Yeah, so medical marijuana does have a place
Yeah.
in our society. I think if you talk to people that have used it and how much it's helped them, I think it is a discussion that we need to have and to move towards that. It gets a little concerning though when you have marijuana for everybody to smoke, and
Yes.
I know that there's a movement throughout the country to make marijuana legal. That's a little bit more of a difficult issue.
Yeah, of course. Now, San Onofre, and as we know, there's a lot of spent nuclear fuel there, and people are concerned, rightly so, as far as what can be done about that. Because on one hand, we, meaning the area around here, would like to see it move somewhere.
Right.
But of course, the people who live in the areas where that might be moved to don't necessarily want it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult situation.
It is a difficult situation, and Yucca Mountain in Nevada seems to be the place where nuclear spent fuel could be deposited in a safe manner. The scientists have done all the work on it. Of course, it gets very political, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yucca Mountain in Nevada, there's people in Nevada that don't want it to spent nuclear fuel to be there. But in the meantime, until we can get Yucca Mountain completely ready, we have to have interim storage. We have to move this spent fuel someplace so that we get it out of our community. And so Congress is looking at interim storage right now. We're working towards legislation that will provide a place for us to be able to put this spent nuclear fuel. And it's an issue that's been before Congress for many, many years, and I'm hoping we get it resolved.
Okay, yeah, it's nobody wants it around them, so it's a difficult issue. Let's move on to wildfires. Of course, you know, we've seen the devastation in California, and I think it was either yesterday or the day before, the governor of California actually signed I don't know what you would call it, but a kind of a widening of helping to alleviate wildfires by taking care of the brush. I think he went to 500,000 acres, or I don't know the exact.
To clear through the brush?
To clear,
okay.
Yeah, that was just, from what I understand on the news today, he approved that yesterday.
Because that's preventive maintenance,
yeah,
and that's something that we have to do a better job in the state
Yeah.
of California, because once a wildfire starts, and if you're in an area that's got a lot of brush, you know, it just lights up. And so we have to have preventive maintenance when it comes to our forests to make sure that when we have fires that we can get rid of them quickly and put them out quickly. We obviously saw the devastation in Northern California this past year, and locally here as well as in Orange County. And I was able to secure money in the budget to make sure that people who were victims of the wildfire in Orange County have the resources that they need in order to rebuild their lives quickly.
What about getting more equipment here more permanently? I think certain times of the year we actually lease stuff out of Canada, those super scoopers, and some people have said, why don't we just have these for our own, even if they're sitting on several months of the year just not being used. But is that something that we should be looking at?
Yeah, I've talked to the Orange County Fire Authority leaders about these issues, and again, it's a function of cost and it's a function of money, right? And so it's a dialogue that's been ongoing. We want to make sure that our men and women who are fighting our fires have the tools that they need at their disposal to make sure that they can put these fires out as quickly as possible.
All right, now I know the Congresswoman has to get off to something else, but I have one more thing. Flu season, of course, we're out of that now, but we've seen how devastating it was this year. And of course, every year, which I did not realize, when you have the, you go ahead and you get the vaccine, I didn't realize that it's about a 30% that they got it right each year, because the flu can morph even during the season.
Correct.
But you still need to get it.
Correct. So the Centers for Disease Control, known as CDC, every year comes up with a vaccine for the flu virus. And what they do is they try to predict which strain of flu is going to be most prevalent that year. And it's scientists work. It's very difficult to get it accurate. And so unfortunately, the last couple years, the CDC has not gotten it accurate. And that's where we've seen the virus has not, the flu vaccination has not worked as well as it should. What we're working on right now is to get a universal vaccine done so that we can get to the core of the flu virus. Okay. And having a universal vaccine will then help take care of some of these problems. And we are, every year, by the way, the Energy and Commerce Committee reviews what happened the year before in the flu with the flu season. And so we're trying to make sure they have the resources so that the scientists can develop a proper vaccine.
All right, very good. I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
Good to see you again,
good
as
to see
always.
You too, as well.
And I want to mention that for the Congresswoman's government website, I do have it on the screen, walters.house.gov. And if you forget that, if you just put Mimi Walters, 45th District, it'll come up. I always tell people, nowadays, if you search for something, it'll usually come up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the easiest
Love Google.
Yes. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having me.
We'll be right back.
The El Toro Water District Phase 2 Recycled Water Expansion Project has installed over 21,000 feet of recycled water pipelines and is now over 75% complete. The final pipeline installations, as well as installations of service lines and final paving, should be complete by July. The connections of the individual irrigation systems to the new recycled water pipelines should be complete by the end of the year. The district sincerely appreciates your patience as we enhance the water supply resources in the Laguna Woods area.
I'm Dr. Trin. You may know me from Memorial Care, Alzheimer's Orange County, and Irvine Clinical Research. Alzheimer's is the third leading cause of death in Orange County. The problem is, we're making this diagnosis way too late, after the damage is done. We don't want to wait for this to happen. We want to catch this early. Please come see me for a free consultation and discuss ways to minimize your risk for Alzheimer's disease.
I moved to Laguna Woods from North Carolina a year ago and realized that I needed to change my Medicare insurance plan. I was fortunate enough to learn about the services provided by Susie and Richard White Insurance. They were wonderful.
There's no need to wait for an open enrollment for your new Medicare plan.
We are here all year long and would love to meet with you and make your Medicare transition in your new hometown easy.
Hi, I'm Susan Tuttle. I want to send out a huge thank you for those of you watching my morning exercise program. I'm convinced that the stretching that we do and the strength building is the reason I perform so well when I'm out playing on the pickleball courts. If you can't join our morning exercise program, just go to my website, purchase a DVD at susantuttlefitness.com. Stay active.
And my problems seem so small.
And I want to mention something to you that when the Congresswoman was here, I kind of thought about, and that is a woman called me the other day, one of the residents here, and talked about the mail-in ballot, how it may take more postage, which is true. I got my mail-in yesterday, I think. And in there, you have to kind of dig through it. If you got that envelope, that if you mail in all 3 ballots, there's actually 3 sheets, you need 71 cents, okay? Not in postage. So you basically need 2 stamps because it's kind of hard to get like a half a stamp. So if you mail in just 2 sheets, if you don't fill out that 3rd ballot, then 1 stamp will suffice. But keep that in mind. We don't want to see I envision, thousands of mail-in ballots coming back because people didn't put in the correct postage. So if you mail in all 3 ballot sheets that you have filled out, the postage is 71 cents on that. So it is in there. You got to kind of dig through it. It doesn't say it on the mail-in, the envelope, but if you look through some of the instructions, it is in there. So please keep that in mind. All right, also keep in mind that our movie today is Mrs. Brown, starring Judi Dench as Queen Victoria. And in this one, it takes place shortly after her husband's death, and she becomes very despondent and seclusional and not her usual self until a feisty Scottish groom John Brown enters her life and goads her into living once again, and they form a close friendship that causes a major scandal. Judi Dench, as I said, she plays Queen Victoria, and Billy Connolly, he plays the Scottish groom. This came out in 1997. A short movie, only 101 minutes, and it's rated PG. Now, different movie coming up on Monday. It's called All the Money in the World. And it's well, both of these are based on a true story. This one is the story of the kidnapping of the 16-year-old John Paul Getty III, the grandson of John Paul Getty, and in a desperate attempt by his devoted mother to convince his billionaire grandfather to pay the ransom. And again, this was based on a true story. This is really sort of a terror thriller story in a sense, and a bit of espionage, because Michelle Williams, as you see, stars as the mom in this, and Christopher Plummer stars as Getty, the older Getty, and then they employ sort of, well, I want to say kind of their own person to go in and get this job done. And again, based on a true story, you see Mark Wahlberg as that person. And good movie. Again, this has got a little thriller, a little terror, but it's true. Rated R primarily for the violence and certain adult situations. Longer movie, 132 minutes, and that will be on Monday at 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Now let's get to the weather. As I said earlier today, this little system is a little bit thicker and stronger as far as moisture that's coming in. So if you're watching us in the morning, there's a chance of getting some drizzle throughout the day, and we could get a little poke through of sunshine. Then overnight and tomorrow we could actually get a little light shower coming in. We'll see about that. But mostly cloudy today and tomorrow. Partly cloudy on Sunday on Mother's Day, and then going forward we're going to have those temps back up a tiny bit in a little more sunshine. So have a really great Mother's Day. If you have somebody to celebrate with, that is wonderful. And if you're going around California, here's the weather. Sunny up in Eureka. I still can't get over that when most of all of other California is going to be under clouds, but it's usually opposite of that. Have a really good weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Take care.